Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Urban Birds and Bees. And now we're coming at you with Celebrity and Singles, a new series we're rolling out under Urban Birds and Bees. How's everyone doing? My name is Dr. Kerry Neal. I'm the host and moderator for Urban Birds and Bees. And oh my God, dude, we have a treat for you this evening. So we're going to kick this off with the one and only Sia Amun. So, Sia, what's going on with you? Say what's up
What's
to the
up?
people.
What's going on? How you guys doing? How you doing, Carrie?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, doing fantastic. So, yeah, so this is going to be an opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about our people of note, their artistry, the work that they're doing,
Mhm.
and what it's like being a public figure. And so we'll learn more about that. And then we're going to get a little bit more personal with them, find more about them themselves and things like that beyond the camera, right? And then we'll sort of dive in terms of how they're navigating the landscape of love and what their relationship aspirations are. So we thought this would be something fun and cool.
Mhm.
And we could not have done a better job than landing Sia Amun. And you're going to learn a lot more about her if you haven't heard of her. And so we're going to go ahead and get things started. So, again, this is where we
I'm
sit
excited.
down. What you say? Say it again. So what you say?
I said I'm excited.
You're excited? Yeah, no, you're not more excited than I am. So this is very, very dope, right? Okay, so this is where we sit down with some of the most creative and inspiring figures in music, film, and culture, not just to talk about their artistry, but also life, love, and everything in between. Okay, today I'm honored to have a powerhouse talent with us, singer, songwriter, actress, and daughter of Troop's legendary frontman, Steve Russell Harts. The one and
Mhm.
only Sia Moon is with us today. Again, say what's up to the people. Say what's up to the people.
Hello, hello, hello.
That's what's
Your
up. That's what's
favorite
up.
girl in the whole wide world. What's up,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Okay, but before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about Urban Birds and Bees as a formality, as we always do. Now, Urban Birds and Bees, we're a podcast. We create real, unfiltered conversations at the intersection of love, culture, and community, exploring relationships, wellness, and identity through authentic voices and diverse perspectives. Okay, yeah, so that's who we are. Let me give you a little bit about this bio about Sia Moon so you can learn a little bit more about it, right? Again, and but by the way, I want to say some of the songs some of the artists you've written for, like Lady Gaga and Mary J. I mean, you're a you're a beast. Oh my God, musically, this is just ridiculous. What's up?
Thank you.
I'm just crazy impressed. Anyway, let me get you a bio right here. Okay, so again, singer, songwriter, actress, Sia Moon, the daughter of Troop's legendary Steve Russell Harts. We talked about that. Okay, now Sia has penned hits for icons such as Lady Gaga, Mary J. Blige, and Trey Songz, and built her own lane with projects like Ready for Love and Single AF. Now, we know
Mhm.
we got to talk about that. That's a very dope song, but it
Thank
seemed like you were kind of going through something when you wrote that song. Very, very
you.
um, matter of fact, it's almost like the anthem I hear from a lot of sisters too. So
Yeah,
it's not like you're by yourself, right?
right.
It says beyond her artistry, she appeared on VH1's Love and Hip Hop Hollywood and co-directed the Amazon Prime slash Tubi series Day Ones. Ah, very interesting. Day Ones, interesting.
Mhm.
She just released her latest single, Garden, with AJ McQueen, and it is available on all streaming platforms. Please, once again, join us in welcoming Sia Immune. So, what is up? What is up? What is up?
Man, it's what's today? Thursday. It's a good day. I woke up this morning. I feel good. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. And now
Yeah,
I'm here.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I love it. So, let's just dive right in. Let's not waste any more time. So, let's talk a little bit about your background, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, you come from music royalty and the whole bit. So about your dad, I was Steve Russell. It's funny. A lot of my friends they said, "Oh, I went to school with him. I know him. Did he go to PHS,
I think you
Pasadena High
went to
School?"
John Muir.
John Muir. Okay, yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of folks over the past they said, "Oh, I know." Yeah, they were all excited. Whatever else. I'm gonna
Mhm.
share my screen real quick so people can get a peep at who exactly we're talking about and learn a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Can you see that?
I can't.
You can't? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay, hold on. Want to make sure that everybody can see. There we go. So, Yeah, I'm telling you, I remember back in the 90s, it was kind of interesting because, I went to school with Ready for the World, right? I
Okay.
see, and see your dad and all of them. So if everybody, this gentleman right here,
Hmm.
that's her dad right there, just in case you weren't familiar with the group, right? So there he is.
That's my
Oh man.
guy.
So when you see these pictures, so like what that do for you? Does you laugh, you say, are you just proud of your dad or whatever else, and the whole bit?
It just makes me feel just proud. That's my dad is my best friend, so I just always feel just so proud, and it just, it's pretty cool. I think it's awesome. I think
Yeah,
that it is really awesome that
yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
blessed to have him as a guide on this journey.
Interesting. Definitely want to hear. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in terms of that journey. But also, we see you here, picture with you and your
Hmm.
dad right here, and your
Hmm.
mom,
Yep.
who unfortunately passed away not too long ago. We kind of talked about that again. I extend my condolences. That was just about like a year and a half ago or so, right, or something like that.
End of 2022.
Yeah. So it's been a few years, but still,
Yeah,
I'm sure it cuts deep. And she was your heartbeat as well. That's my understanding. Is that correct?
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My
So,
baby.
yeah, yeah. And so we're gonna talk about your relationship with your mom in a minute, but let's just kind of talk a little bit more about you and your dad. So talk about how your dad influenced you in your music. Was you just kind of sitting down just watching your dad and you just kind of emulated him, or talk about
So
how your dad influenced your artistry.
it's actually pretty interesting because a lot of people automatically assume that I had a certain kind of silver spoon kind of journey. I
Ah,
grew up with my mom, so I didn't necessarily like grow up with my dad. I seen him a couple times a year, and when I was with him at the time, growing up, this is just dad. So I'm not really understanding much of really who he is or anything of anything until I became a certain age and actually started singing and had my own desires and passion for music and watching him. And once I realized who he was and what was going on, um, he just made it my dream a real thing. Like it was just like, oh, this isn't just a dream anymore. Like this is something that can actually happen. Like this is
hmm.
something that is tangible. Like I can actually achieve this. So that's really what watching him did for me. It just made it become more of a reality than just something that I was dreaming about doing and wanting to do.
Interesting, interesting. So, did you feel like a certain level of pressure that you had to live up to the notoriety of your dad and his group and things like that, or do you just kind of felt like, well, I kind of got the blueprint. I'm just going to kind of embark on the way I want to, or tell me about that whole process and how it hit you.
I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. Talk
Oh,
about
wow.
pressure. Because you have to remember, Troop was one of the best and are still considered, according to Billboard, one of the best boy groups of all time. So,
Absolutely, no doubt.
there was a lot of pressure, just not from even outside people, but from my mom and from my dad to live up to my potential. And
Oh, your dad applied the pressure as well. Is
oh
that's so?
yeah, oh yeah,
Is I
oh
did
yeah.
this, you need to be right
It
here.
was just if you're gonna do it, then do it. And if
Right,
not, then don't waste nobody's time. You might as well not even waste your own time. Go sit down somewhere and do something else.
right. Interesting.
It's not a game. And so yeah, I definitely had a lot of pressure and I actually decided early on that I was gonna pursue my journey without even telling people that he was my dad. I really wanted to make a name for myself and I wanted
Hmm.
to be accepted and be in the room because of who I was and my own talent. So I went a long time without telling people and people didn't even know. And it wasn't until something happened, like, for example, I'll tell you the Lady Gaga story. Teddy Riley called me for the session. Um, Long story short, I get to the studio and he's like, before I got there, like he kept calling me and I kept hanging up. I didn't believe that it was him. I hung up on him 12
Right.
times. And he's like, look, little girl, the only reason I'm calling back is because you're singing your ass off on your voicemail, and I really need somebody to come do this session. So
Mm.
anyway, long story short, I get to the studio and he's just like, you're so good. Like, where did you come from? Like, who are you working with? Who are you? And I was like, well, my dad, his name is Steve Russell, and he just couldn't believe it. He was like, what? Like, Steve is my bro. I had no idea. So it was like from that moment on, he's like, yo, y'all, this my niece.
Oh,
It was
that's
pretty
nice.
cool, but it was awesome for me. That was my very first professional, like big gig. And um, it just felt good to be in there on my own merit and it having absolutely nothing to do with my dad.
Right, right. It's like, oh, well,
Mhm.
okay, it kind of makes sense. Apple falls not too far from the tree, kind of a
For
thing.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about um where you through your music and maybe in some interviews as well, you kind of talked about you kind of had a little struggles as a teenager, right?
Mhm.
And how you kind of navigated that and how that also plays a part in your creativity and artistry. You want to talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so just to kind of touch back a little on how I mentioned earlier, like people assume because of who my dad is that I had a certain kind of fairy tale journey, but it just was not the case, honestly. My mom put me out when I was 15, not because I was like ripping and running and acting wild. I actually was a straight A student. I tried to be the best daughter that I could possibly be. I was
But
an
she
over.
put you out? I mean, what was that all about?
Honestly, if she was here, we would have to ask her. But
Hmm.
I think that, I think that everything happens for a reason and everything is set up in a divine order.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that if I could answer it from my perspective now as an adult looking back,
Right.
I just had to go through it. I think that trials and tribulations like that build character and that kind of situation and pressure. It definitely helped me kind of build a strength that I didn't even know was there. But growing up, my mom and I, we didn't really have the best relationship. It was just, and
Yeah.
I think as I got older, I realized that there are more women that have these experiences with their moms. I thought I was the only one for a long time. Like, why doesn't she love me?
You know what? It's
But
amazing. I've seen it as well in terms of,
yeah,
my ex-wife with our daughter and then I hear my other friends and with it's I'm like,
yeah.
what is that all about? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what I couldn't tell you. But I think that, we come here to have a certain experience to gain expansion. And I'm just grateful that I had the mom that I did because she did her job. You know,
Hmm.
she did her job as far as assisting me in the way that she could and the way that she was supposed to. She did the best she could, and you know, that situation was the start of everything, though. Because
Mm.
I didn't understand it then either. I was just like, what is going on? Like, I could see if I was out being fast, having boyfriends, doing this, being disrespectful. It was the complete opposite. So for me, it was just like, okay, God, this is meant for whatever reason. So that happened. She put me out at 15. I had graduated high school early, so I was in a junior college. I moved in with a friend to finish that first semester. And then I was talking to my dad and I was just like, Dad, I want to do music. I want to take it serious, but I want to finish the semester. And then I moved with him. And that was the start of my career.
Interesting, interesting. Wow, wow. Well, you got a big family too, so I'm sure you are they kind of were watching out for you, but that's still nonetheless probably pretty freaking traumatic. So, well, thanks for sharing a very
Mhm.
personal party life and whatever else. But now let's go back. Again, I'm gonna go back. We will get to some more deeper stuff. I want to ask about your mom as well. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But I want to go back to your prolific songwriting abilities. So, okay, so again, I mean, the who's who, Lady freaking Gaga, Mary J. Blige, and Trey Songz.
Mhm.
So you did that before stepping out as a solo artist, right? And so I think
Mhm.
that's pretty incredible, right? So what did those experiences teach you about your own artistry?
They taught me to trust myself, to love
Mm,
myself, to trust my genius, and to not necessarily rely on validation from outside people. And it
mhm.
took a while to get there. So the Mary J. Blige sessions were the sessions that um pivot everything for me,
Mhm.
as far as deciding that I was gonna do my own thing. So I was a part of a writing team or writing camp that Tyrese had, and he brought Mary to the
Okay.
studio, and we would sit at his conference table, and all of the writers, the producers, and he would be at one end, the artist would be at the other end. In this case, it was Mary, and we all, asked her questions about where she was in her life, and just so many questions, and she had an answer for every question. It's like
Mm,
she knew who she was, she knew who her fans were. She was so sure about Mary. And as a writer, I was just sitting there like, wow, like I've been doing this for however many years now, and just hoping that people like my songs, and just, you know, whatever, just praying that I write the right thing. And I can't answer none of these questions for me.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just like, here I am, just hoping that I'm good enough to land a placement. But is this what it's about? I was just like, no, and yeah. So from that moment on, I was just like, you know what? I am going to spend more time writing by myself and not necessarily doing like group writing sessions. I wanted to prove to myself that I was just good enough. I've always had this thing about not feeling good enough. And it started at
Mm,
home. It definitely
right.
started at home. I'm
Right.
kind of the middle child, if you count both sides.
Are you
And
the only child between your both your mom and dad?
yes,
Okay.
I'm the only child between my mom and dad, but I have two older siblings on my mom's side and then siblings on my dad's side.
Right. 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 Right.
And it's like I would have straight A's, and my mom would be like, okay, or my dad would be like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, we already lived our life. This is your life and your journey. And so it was like I was doing my very best, but it was like it wasn't enough.
Mm,
So I always grew up with this feeling of just like I have to be perfect, and I have to overachieve and overdo in order to be seen, and in order to just be at a certain level, and so that was triggered in the sessions with Mary. And yeah, from
mm.
that moment on, I started really locking in on, like, before that I had songs that I had recorded and like I might have put out on SoundCloud, but I wasn't taking the artist thing serious. I was just happy to have a platform that I could release a song
Right.
on,
Right. 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 Right.
but after the Mary sessions, I was just like, okay, yeah, I got to figure out who I am. And the self-love journey started from that moment.
Yeah, and that's an excellent role model because Mary J. Blige, look, she's like a woman empowerment evangelist.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
her songs and whatever else, oh, she's got a story to tell, and she's like that one song or one album she had out a long time ago. It's been a few years, maybe almost 10 years, maybe not that long, but I don't know. But "Good Woman Down."
Okay.
And oh my God, listen to the lyrics of that song and other songs as well, right? Or Good Morning Gorgeous and the whole bit. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah, I love that song.
that's a great role model. Oh my God. So yeah, that's interesting. But let's talk a little bit about your actual sound, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, you're kind of neo soul, but you're R&B. Um, and what I was amazed to learn, as we were kind of talking early on, is that while you are surrounded by some amazing producers, you
Hmm.
do a lot of the work yourself. Wow. tell us a little bit about that. It's so impressive. Look, if you guys need to go ahead and go to iTunes or wherever you get your music, stream it or whatever else, and put in CIAAMUN and grab
SIA.
all of that. Say it again.
I said SIA.
What did I say?
You said C.
Oh, let's say I
It's
said
okay.
see like
SIAAM. Yeah.
SIASSIAAMUN is right there on the screen, right? And pick it up. But talk to us about that. I mean, so how would you personally describe your style? That is interesting.
Definitely, soul. I think that I make soul music. I definitely fall under the category of like R&B, neo soul,
Yeah,
like 2026. We don't really have the neo soul
that's a genre,
genre
official
the way
genre.
we
Yeah,
did
yeah,
growing up. Like we
yeah, yeah.
had Erica Badu, Jill Scott,
Hmm.
Music Soul Child, India.Arie. Like we don't
Right.
have that anymore, but if we did, I would definitely fall
You're
within
falling in
that
that. Yeah.
category.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Erica Badu is one of your person you admire as well in terms of her style, music, and whatever else, or it's just a coincidence.
No, absolutely. The four artists I just named, Erica Badu, Lauryn Hill, Music
Hmm.
Soul Child, Brandy.
Yeah.
Um, so many people. My grandmother, my dad's mom, would put me in the car and she would make me just sing songs with her. And it was Brandy and India.Arie mostly. As I
Mm,
just kind of got into music on my own, I discovered Erica and really fell in love with Lauren. But my grandmother we would sit in the car for hours and hours
really?
and we would just sing and sing and sing. And she would be like, do it again, do it again, do it again. Yeah,
So
girl.
you love music, but so did you enjoy all that, or was it come on now and did this
No,
five, 6 times, or how did you enjoy all that?
oh, absolutely. And that
Okay.
was like that was our thing. That was like our
Uh,
bonding time. Like there was so much going on at home with me and my mom that was an escape for me. So whenever anything, I would literally lock myself in the room and I would just either be writing poems, I would be on the computer learning dances, watching videos. Like I just from a very young age, I always wanted to do music. It was just like, that's what I want to do. And so that's all that I thought about. It's all that I did. I practiced and just sang songs and danced and wrote. And so her doing that, I didn't realize that she was helping me get better. I just thought that this was just something we just love to do. We just love music. And that was my time with my grandmother that I spent.
wow.
Now I
Well,
know.
Well,
Yeah.
and here are summer albums, so you guys can just kind of see, or excuse me, EPs, is what I understand. There's EPs, and the EP is an album that has 8 songs or less. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, it's
Yes.
9 or more than is considered an album. So yeah, so let's talk about this. This was the Blue Dream Project. Talk to us. What influenced you about that particular EP?
So the Blue Dream Project is actually my very first EP.
Okay.
I found out that my grandmother had colon cancer, and
Mm,
I just kind of became really obsessed with like cannabis. Started working a job at a weed shop, and I was just like so obsessed with just everything weed related. And all I listened to at the time was like Bob Marley. I was just like
yeah.
going through this phase, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm a conceptual type of writer. Like, I like to have a full concept to base my projects off of. And every song on the project is about like Blue Dream is a type of sativa. It's a type of marijuana strain that's like
Hmm.
an upper, and it just was my favorite strain. And it made me feel so happy and so just full of life. And yeah, so I named the album or the EP, The Blue Dream Project, and every song on there is about weed. So you have um, Flowers is
Okay.
talking about the weed man who brings me flowers, but and then you have Private Reserve, which is like the top shelf, most expensive at the time. I don't know what it is now, so I don't smoke anymore, but it's like the top shelf, highest quality weed. And then I have a song called Blue Dream, Live a Little, Take It Easy is like the meditation song. So the whole project was about weed, and it stemmed from my grandmother having cancer.
Interesting, interesting. And then you have bedroom sessions. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that and the inspiration behind that.
So bedroom sessions actually started. I had left LA and moved to Atlanta in
Okay.
2017, I believe. And I was just really focused on becoming a better writer. And so
Okay.
I would just spend so much time in my room just writing a bunch of songs. And I was like, hey, like maybe I should record these,
Hmm.
And so I would record the process of me writing these songs and putting the songs together, and I would post them. And eventually I like created challenge, like, hey, if you guys help me get to 10,000 followers, I'll release an EP with all these songs that I've been creating in my bedroom.
Oh,
And
nice.
so I have Bedroom Session Volume 1, and then the one you have here is Bedroom Session Volume 2.
Oh, now that's funny. So, because, I'm sure people thought something very different when they heard bedroom sessions.
Well, yeah,
That's
when you listen to it for sure. And I like that you can play on both. Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, because you guys heard you had one into, and this is number two.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the first one has kind of like a pink background. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. Okay. And we're gonna get to single AF in a second, but um, one of the things that I think that sort of characterized as you explain, you're kind of going on your life journey and how you've been affected, and it clearly is influencing what you produce musically, right?
Mhm.
So, not trying to get you emotional, whatever else, but I want to talk about your mom and that journey. That although you guys had some tough times, you loved your mom dearly, and you
Mhm.
talked pretty openly and honestly about that you wanted to cut bait with music altogether, and so much that you love music so much, but that really took you out. But then you came back like a rising phoenix, right?
Mhm.
So to speak. Tell us a little bit about that journey and where you are today with it.
Yes, so music was the one thing that my mom was so proud of.
Hmm.
Like she was so proud of the fact that I could sing and that I was her daughter and that I was good. And it made her feel very proud and that she did something right. So
Mm.
she was my biggest fan when it came to music. So that was the thing that I felt connected us. Like when it came to the music, everything was all good, and then she would like want to be my stylist. Like that gave us something to bond over. And when she passed, I just felt like, okay, so I was doing all of this. And same with my grandmother. My grandmother passed before I released the Blue Dream project, and everything was about my grandma at the time and my mom. It was just like, I got to make them happy. I took on the weight of everybody in the family. It was like, everybody's sad, everybody's miserable. I got to make it. I got to do this so that I
Mm.
take care of everybody. I got to make sure that I was going to be the one that was going to take away the pain and all the stress and so when my grandmother passed, it was just like, okay, now I gotta get my mama good. I gotta make sure dad is good. Like it was just, I was so focused on that. And so when my mom passed, and it was so sudden and so unexpected, and I spent so many years pursuing my dream, like away from
And
home.
she passed of cancer. Is that correct?
So she actually passed from heart failure, my
Oh
mom.
wow. Oh no.
Mhm. Her heart stopped. Um, I
It's
I
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just love her so much.
Yeah.
But I'm trying my best, like I don't want to be all extra emotional.
Yeah.
But after she passed, it was so sudden and so unexpected.
Mhm.
I felt so much guilt because I spent so much time away. Like when I did the
Mm.
Blue Dream Project, I had backpacked to London, and that's a whole nother story that we can talk about. But I backpacked to London with $100. My grandmother had just passed. I broke up with my boyfriend at the time, and I went to London and I released this project, and I sold out my first headline show. I was on radio. It was like a trip out of just a dream. And I just stayed on the go from there. It was just like, I gotta make it. And so because I spent so much time away, and when my mom passed, I was in Houston. So I just took on a lot of guilt and was just like, dang, like I put this first, I put
Mhm.
this my career before everything. And it just made me not want to do it anymore. I was just like, now I need to spend time with my little brothers are growing up and I'm not
Mhm.
around. And,
Mhm.
I just, it really, it took a toll. And so I was in Houston. I moved to Houston and was there for about 3 years.
Mhm.
And I was just like, took a hiatus. I wasn't really focused or thinking about music. I was in therapy every week. And
Mhm.
I was really, really focused on healing all of my childhood trauma and just becoming the best version of me that I possibly could be. Like my goal is to be the best representation of God that I possibly can. And that's just through love and being loving and just being true to who I am. And um, that was the focus. And while I was there going through that process, I started getting calls to like sing the national anthem at the Dodgers game. I
Oh,
I
nice.
started producing this show at the House of Blues once a month. And it was just like music just it just found its way back to me.
Mm.
But I
Mm.
still was kind of like running away from like releasing music,
Yeah, right.
and then like people are calling me like, bro, like, what are you doing? Where's the music? Where you at? Like
Yeah.
you just out
Yeah.
there in Houston by yourself. You don't have nobody out there. Like you're not working, like you're tripping. You're only getting older, all this stuff. And then,
Mhm.
I was just like, dang, like the one time I'm not like chasing it, I'm totally let go and then
Right.
focused on something totally different. Here it comes. And I just felt like, maybe I shouldn't like miss my own boat. Like maybe this is a calling and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So let me kind of like get back on board, and I trust God. Everything that I do is God ordained, and I don't make any decisions if my gut doesn't say so.
Right, right, right.
And so yeah, I just felt like it was time to get back to work. And so here I am.
Well, that is such a phenomenal story of resiliency, but not only just musically. I mean, tell us about this VH1's Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and you co-directing Day Ones that's currently streaming on
Mhm.
Amazon Prime and Tubi. How'd that come about? Was this all part of this sort of this renaissance that you're going through as well?
Just
These
a
projects come
part of
out.
the journey. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No, you're
yeah,
good. You're good.
just a part of the journey. I was in Atlanta working on when I came out here in 2017, when I was doing
Hmm.
the bedroom sessions and all of that. My best friend at the time was on Love and Hip Hop, and she was going through a lot as well. She was like going through a breakup. And she's like, I don't want to do the show anymore. I'm not doing the show. I'm not doing the show if my best friend can't come on the show.
Right.
And she was really like not happy with me for leaving LA. And she was like, if I
Mm.
get you on the show, will you move back to LA? And I'm like, bro, I'm not coming back to LA. They're not gonna put me on the show, and the she ended up having the producers call.
Okay.
They called and they're like, hey, can you come do an episode? And I was supposed to just do one episode. I flew back home. I did the one episode. One episode turned into two, two turned into three, three turned into, I think, five. And then I ended up on all three parts of the reunion show. And I just ended up being a part of the actual show.
Man, look at it. You just a magnet for these creative opportunities. That's off the charts. Now, day ones. Tell us about day ones.
So day ones was an idea that my dad had, and I am the type of creative where you can't really come to me with an idea because we're gonna make it happen. And my dad knows that about me. So he's like,
Just like your aunt too. She's the same way.
yes. And, my dad's like, I've been having this idea that, I want to shoot this series, but I don't know how we're gonna get it done. And I'm like, Dad, like we got iPhones. Like, what? We can shoot it on our phones. We both have cameras. Like we could just shoot it ourselves. And he kind of like looked at me like, like, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we can. And yeah, we started shooting the show on our phones and with our cameras. Just me and my dad and my brother and his best friend are the lead characters. The show is based on them, and it's a series about two young guys that kind of are growing up in the hood. It's kind of like inspired by the vibe. It's like two young guys that are growing up in the hood, hitting licks, robbing, stealing, selling drugs. And one of them has a father figure that's encouraging him to do the right thing. And then you have the other one that's like struggling, just had a baby. He got to do whatever he got to do to make ends meet. And they eventually start doing music to get out of the streets. Yeah, it's a really, really awesome um, it's an awesome show, and it was an awesome experience because again, that was something that showed me that anything was possible.
Mm,
We literally just started filming that. We did the whole series, and as we filmed the episodes, we had more people become a part of the cast. More
mm,
people become a part of the production crew. So by the end of the first season, we had a full team. It was just like so awesome to see. We got to
yeah.
premiere. We placed in the film festival like high. We got to premiere at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Like we had
Wow.
so many awesome experiences just based off of that one idea. And then we started season two, and then my character came into season two. So I'm actually acting in season two, and I'm the sister of, my brother in real life, but in the show.
Hmm.
And the character Yvette, she wants to get in and be a part of the streets. And she's like, huh? Everybody want her to be goody two shoes and do hair, do nails or something. And it's like, I'm trying to be hitting licks with you.
Right, right.
So it's fun. It's really fun. And I'm excited for us to finish and get
You,
on
you
to
you know what's amazing about that is I am pretty persuaded, we have dreams and things we want to do, and we oftentimes look at our limitations or we think that I need to have this and
absolutely.
so forth. I'm very clear that everything we need, uh, anything we want to accomplish, we already have it. God has already provided it for us. You said your dad had an idea and whatever else, and you said, duh, cell phones, let's
Let's
do
do
it,
it.
and so forth. And the sophistication of technology really does allow you to do almost anything. I mean,
Yeah.
right now we're having this conversation, laptop, whatever else, cameras, whatever the case may be, but it's no full-on big production that you see on TV, but we're having this conversation and the platforms in which you distribute it. So it really is amazing. So, man, kudos to you. Look at you. Just doing
Mhm.
big things. Just look, the idea, and then you just kind of made it happen. Okay, so now we got to dive in and talk about love and that whole
Okay.
journey. But um, I want to first let's start here. Let's start with single AF, right?
Mhm.
That's actually that's a it's kind of funny. It sounds like, and when I listen to some of your other music, you're obviously going through some things, and you just kind of confirmed in terms of things going in your life and how your artistry sort of reflects that, right? Well, it
Mhm.
was interesting. You talked about you're tired of dudes think they look better than you. You talked about, guys that are not really up to anything. But you also kind of talk about, which I thought was sort of interesting. You're almost like saying, look, if you want a real one, I may be out here having fun hanging out, but trust me, I want someone who I can just really just kind of like trust and be with. And you said,
Mhm.
if you're out there, here I am. talk about that. Talk about the what led you to write that song, some of your experiences, and yeah, share us a little bit of that secret sauce that created Single AF.
That's actually one of my favorite songs. Shout out to Ryan Toby, who I co-wrote the record with. Um,
Okay.
I actually still feel that way. So it's pretty funny. I haven't
You feel
had
what way? You let the people know
the
exactly how
same way
you
I
feel.
feel in the record. I'm still
Okay.
single.
Okay. I mean, you can
I'm
say it.
still
I'm just not saying, but you can say
okay.
it. It's okay.
I'm still single AF. I'll say that because I am trying to work on my potty mouth. Um, but yeah, I've had experience like I've only had a couple, like I've only had two really serious relationships. I'm a relationship girl. They were both really long term. But outside of those, of course, I've dated, and just throughout that process, I just realized like what is going on in the world? Like where are these guys coming from? And I don't know if it's because I am very ambitious. Like I've had a guy tell me like you're the most ambitious like woman I've ever dated. Like I'm used to women that are sitting at home waiting on me to call and I know what they're doing at every second of the day. And it's like with you, it's like you wake up at 5 o'clock, you're here, you're there, you got this to do, you're doing this. And it's just like, they don't know what to do. And then we have my dad that plays a factor. Then it's like they got to live up to some kind of expectation they think because of that. So I don't know if it's just all of those things that are playing a part in my specific journey when it comes to love, but I've had some pretty interesting encounters and experiences and yeah, the song was just birthed from those experiences and just
Okay,
really
okay, okay. So here's what you got to do, right? I know the song, listen to the song,
uh,
awesome. But we want to sort of dangle the carrot for the people who are listening so they'll go
mhm,
out and go get the song. So just kind of
mhm,
talk about the song in terms of give some specifics of what the song says. Like I gave you a little bit of what I thought, right? Give some
mhm.
specifics from your angle with that I mean obviously you know what it says, but some of these folks may not know.
Yeah.
Give them a little
So it's
taste.
like the first line of the song is like, I'm trying to get my love together, but I can't never take them serious. And that's like a big thing for me. Like
Mhm.
I feel like um I feel like men like to play. I feel like they like to play a lot of games and commitment, especially nowadays and for my generation, is just seems like a foreign thing. Like commitment and just locking in, being honest, being true. I talk about all this in the song.
And I'm not giving you age, but you are a millennial, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we're talking millennial
Um,
phase. Okay. Got it.
it's like you meet guys and it could be a social media thing, but they're like in the mirror way more than we are. Everything is about the way they look. And it's just like, bro, like I'm the woman. You know what I mean? It's like scoot over. My turn.
Well, okay, so let's talk about
Um,
some of that. Now, are these men that you're meeting or that you're referring to, are they also in the artistry space as well? Or are these
yeah.
common Joes or
No,
what?
honestly, because I've only been in that space of creating music specifically, most of the guys that I've dated are in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, you have the I want to be famous energy and I want to be seen and I want to, everything is about what it looks like and the facade of everything. So that really is where the foundation of the way I feel stems from is that the inauthenticity of just the people that I encounter because everybody is putting on a front. And it's like,
So,
who are you for real? Because my parents are so down to earth. Like my dad, he is who he is, but he's such a real guy.
yeah.
And my mom she's like a street chick. So I got the best of both worlds, but they're so real and raw and there's no fluff. So even though I grew up around celebrities, it's like they're just people. I
Mm-hmm.
never was impressed. I'm so unimpressed. Everything is about what kind of heart do you have? What kind of person are you? What do you stand for? What do you represent? What are your goals? Like what are you aiming for? What are you leaving behind? And I couldn't get any of that from the guys I was dating at the time. So it's just like, damn, I'm single as fuck. And if you're out there, this is what I'm looking for, and I'm here. Um,
You hear
and
that, Facebook land, everybody? This is what she's looking for. This is what's
it's
up.
yeah, yeah. So
So,
that
so, 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 wait a minute. Let's talk about this for a little. Let's stay right here for a second because I swear I talk to a lot of the sisters and they say almost the exact same thing, right?
Mhm,
And so I often sort of think like I said, okay, so in other words, if we men just get our act together, everything will just magically just kind of form to shape. Like there is no real accountability on the women's side. So, for instance, I was just at this meeting last week, right? Talking to some women who are millennials, right? It's this
mhm,
business mixer thing that was going on. And so I told them I was doing a podcast and I said, oh, it's about relationships, blah, blah, blah. They said, oh, wow. I want to hear. So they kind of got involved with it. And so we started having this conversation. And so they said, they said almost identical the same thing you said. I said, so, and so I threw this out to them right now. Now peep this out. I said, so let's just imagine the guy that you could create, like poof, there he is. The right height, loves God, ambitious, he's caring, loving, good shape, whatever else, six pack, whatever it is, whatever that you want, and what you would say a perfect guy, right? And so I then said, if that guy appeared right now, would
mhm,
he want you? Now,
mhm,
mind you, some of the women who were having this conversation, some were a little bit overweight. And from a guy's perspective, probably just on the average looking, just
mhm.
whatever that means, right? And they were like, without hesitation, oh yeah, absolutely, he would want me. So I was often wonder, and I'm going to ask you, right? So what role, if any, do you play
Mhm,
in some of these
mhm,
relationships not working out? Is it just men are just out of pocket
mhm.
all the way? Is it something that you think that you can improve on, or you just really think the men have a problem? Talk to us.
So I'm actually very happy that you asked me that because I was gonna touch on that when we got back
Oh,
to
okay.
it.
Okay.
Um, it's definitely two ways, and I'm a realist. Like I'm very real with myself and very self-aware.
Okay.
At the time, I was in a different place. I hadn't started therapy, and the world did revolve around me. You
Okay.
know,
And wait,
at the
hold on. How,
time.
how long how
No,
long ago
I've
did you
grown.
write
I wrote Single AF in
yeah,
2018.
22. Okay, okay,
In
we go.
2018.
That's
And
a little
so
while ago. Yeah, 7
now,
years ago. Yeah.
and so now having matured and gone through therapy and been able to self-reflect, and now I know who I am now. Then it was just
Mm,
like typical, we just grow up feeling like I'm princess. Like what? Like, so I definitely take accountability, and I think that women should, because it's not just the men. I think in general people don't take the time to get to know themselves. And that's
mm,
why these relationships are not working, because
mhm.
everything is surface based and everything is based on I'm attracted to you and we're gonna go from there. It's not
Right.
really like I actually like want to get to know you. Like I've been following you, or I've been, talking to you for some time, and I love the way that you think. I love what you represent. I love how you show up. I love how you communicate. I notice that when something bothers you, you handle it like this. Like
Mhm,
nobody's taking time to even know themselves enough to even give that grace to the other person, or that time, or
mm.
create a space for it. And so I discovered that that's really where the issue lies on both sides. And
Okay.
women really don't take accountability for their part. And that definitely plays a part because it takes two. And I'm at a place in my journey now where um, I can take the accountability and be like, okay, I'm not perfect either. I know I got my issues. I got a little, I'm sarcastic as hell. I got a little attitude. I be talking my shit. But I have a
Right.
sense of humor. I'm fun. I got shit going on. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like,
Right. Right. Right.
so it's like I have my ways too. I have my things. I might not, and it all stems from our upbringing, right? And just what was instilled in us. Like I was taught to be extra strong. Like everything was about you don't need no man, you don't need nobody. My mom put me out at 15 to show me this is what independence is like. I've worked a job since I was 13 and
Right.
always been independent. So that's something that I do carry with me in relationships that I have to be self-aware of that I might not, at the time when I did single AF, I didn't realize that I carried that like a badge of honor, you know?
Yeah.
It's
That's
like
good. That's
I'm not
good.
even allowing the men to be men because I'm so uber independent. I don't even need you to, I don't need you to do nothing for me because I got it. But then where's his space? Where's the space that I'm creating for him? So
Hmm.
I'm at a place now where I understand those things and it's about communication for me and really, really building a foundation of friendship and just really getting to know somebody. I think it takes time, but I think friendship is so important. And a lot of men don't like that word. They don't like being put in the friend zone. And I think it's so important to have that stage because there's a love and a respect that you gain for somebody when you're genuinely friends and it's not clouded by intimacy or your feelings. Like feelings, once your feelings get involved, it's a whole different ball game. But when you get to know somebody and like I said, you see what kind of person they are, what kind of heart they have, how they are with their
Hmm.
friends and their family and how their family treats them, how they treat them. Like when you really get to know a person,
Right.
that's a love and a respect I think that lasts and or outlasts, just having temporary feelings that can fade. Because I've liked somebody and then literally a couple days later been like, oh yeah, I changed my mind.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Well, just a point of clarity. I think when we men hear friend zone, that doesn't necessarily happen on the front end. That happens on the back end, meaning that you maybe have a level of curiosity about a potential connection, but then you go, nah. So friend zone is like now you can move from here to here. That's just how we men to see it. But you also said
Okay.
something, and here's one thing I want to say because you said this. I didn't say this right. You just said that some women don't take accountability.
Hmm.
Why is that? Because we as men, we say it, y'all not trying to listen, so we just go, so oh well. So, but you've made that observation. So why do you feel as though there are women that don't take accountability?
I hate to just say like, yeah, women need to take accountability because it's really both. It's a human thing. You know what I mean? And it's an ego
I only
thing.
want to know what your thoughts are about women.
Okay,
Regardless,
okay.
we know it's a
Okay, but
human.
that is my thoughts on it. I think
Okay.
that it's an ego human thing. I think that just as human beings, we want to be right. We want to be justified and we want to be right. I think it's just a
Hmm.
human ego thing. And we feel like we should be catered to and taken care of and that we do no wrong. And it's not everyone. It's not just women, all women.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
case by case.
Right.
Um, it's definitely case by case, but it is something that I've observed with my own friends and just certain, and with myself. There's been times where I've been like, okay, yeah. Dang, that was wrong. I didn't even realize that I was doing that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like way later though. And so like now I take accountability in the moment. Like if a guy communicates with me how he feels like, hey, like I've been making an effort to do X, Y, and Z, and you want me to be calling you and on your phone, but you haven't picked up the phone and called me.
Hmm.
Why I gotta be the one to call you first every time? And I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah, because I want to feel extra wanted, but you want to feel wanted too. And so as a mature adult woman, you're right. And I apologize, you know, for not picking up the phone and calling you and making you feel just as wanted as I want to feel. So when
Yeah.
I say that the accountability, that's the type of accountability that I'm talking about. Not
Mm,
necessarily about being right or wrong. I think that's like surface small stuff.
yeah. No, I no, I'm loving this perspective. You actually do sound like you're ready for a quality committed relationship and things like that. But one thing you said earlier, you talked about most of the men that you've gone out with have been in the industry, right? So
Hmm.
in that creative space. And maybe there's some competition or rub with me, making a career, and it
Hmm.
sort of uh, it's um kind of complicates the whole intimacy thing, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. So what stops you from um being open to more mainstream guys? And then I want you to also to speak to this as well, because just to let everybody know. So we were having a conversation about this podcast that Kiki Palmer was having with
Hmm.
Taraji J. Henson, and
Hmm.
how they were talking about the difficulty it was dating. And if you try to date people who are in the industry, that's totally not workable. And then trying to date someone who's more mainstream or just, not in the industry, that there's complication with that because they have to understand the business, blah, 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 and whatever
Hmm.
else, and gets got mixed up.
Hmm.
So, what's your thinking about that? And or you still think that you can find the one, or the phone will find you, I should say, will find you in the business, or that you might have to make yourself more available, not in the streets in the sense of being all ratchet, but in the streets in terms of just like outside the industry. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm definitely open, more open now than ever. I've experienced recently to, more industry, just talking to industry guys, and it's like no matter how I don't really know. I wish I knew what it was, but there's this unspoken competition thing that naturally, I don't know if it's because we're creators, and so it's like, dang, like I see her doing that, or like I was talking to a guy that I clearly saw that I influenced certain things or inspired in little ways, whether it's whatever. I don't even have to give examples, but just little stuff that I would inspire, whether it was I talked about a song that I loved or a song that I recorded and then they go and do the same song, or if I'm working out and running and singing at the same time, then I notice they do the same thing. Like little stuff that I just noticed that, okay, I have an influence on this person.
Right.
And there would be like, instead of the guy being just a real whole guy and talking to me about the fact that, because if I'm inspired, I'm like, damn, babe, you inspired me so much. Like when I heard you say this, or I was watching your interview and you did this, like I'm such a lover girl, and I'm like a fan, and I don't have a problem being a fan, but I feel like men do. And I
Mm,
feel like it's like instead of telling me that I inspire you too, it's like you act like you came up with it on your own, or it's just like random stuff, and I'm just sitting there like, you
yeah.
totally, you know. So it's just like little stuff like that, and I think as far as me only dating those type of men, I think it's a proximity thing and just not
Hmm.
being around. Like I'm not hanging out at the business clubs, or I spend a lot of time at the country club now. So I'm around different types of, I'm around different types of men now.
In
Um,
Buckhead or Midtown, where are you talking about?
I'm in Brookhaven. So there's a clubhouse here in Brookhaven,
Got
New
it.
York. Hmm.
Okay, got it.
And there's also the sister club in Buckhead, that
Okay.
I go to. But
Oh,
yeah,
so you want a special type of brother.
oh yeah, I'm not playing. I don't play about me.
Yeah, yeah.
Those days are over. Those days are over.
But
So
you could probably meet that brother also. Just he's
at
probably
the
walking out of
gym,
Walmart too.
exactly.
So I'm just saying.
Absolutely. I'm open. I listen, when I tell you I am not looking, I am not actively looking. This last guy that I was kind of entertaining and talking to, after that, I was just like, okay, yeah, I am going to hang it up and just lock in on Sia and continue my journey of becoming the best version of me that I can so that when this person does come into my life, that I can match the energy that I'm asking for, you know? So
Mm.
that's my thing. My whole focus is being what I want. That's my whole focus. I don't care about nothing else. I don't even want nobody calling my phone. If I could be I don't want to be bothered. I don't want nobody, I don't want my feelings getting involved. I just want to work on me so that God can just usher him in. And I
Mhm.
know that this is him. And I don't have the capacity anymore to waste time.
How
And I
how
don't
important?
want to say that. Let me change that because I don't think nothing
Okay.
is a waste of time.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't believe I don't believe in wasted time. I think that every single person that I've encountered and that I've experienced and dealt with in whatever capacity has helped and been like, I don't want to say practice, but
Hmm.
has played a part in shaping the way that I operate and the way that I think to prepare me for whoever my person is when they come.
Oh, nice, nice. Um, so aside from hanging out at the country club, I've never heard women hanging out at the country club. This is a new one, but maybe that's the new thing, right? But if it works, is how's that working for you?
So I'm not just hanging out. I'm not there like, I hope somebody walks in. Like,
Wait a minute,
that's definitely not.
that never comes to mind.
I'm not there for that. My focus, I've never thought like that. And I don't know if it's because of the way that my dad and my grandmother were on me. They were so on me growing up. I've never been a real active in that kind of way. Like every guy that I dated pursued me for years before I was like, okay, because I'll
So
tell
you
you
never
a
had to
story.
kind of position yourself. The guy always found you.
Yeah. And I'll
Beautiful
tell
thing.
you why. I'll tell you why. I told you how I called my dad after my mom put me out and told him I
Hmm.
wanted to do music, right?
Hmm.
So I moved with him. Things kind of started really fast. Like 2 weeks after being there, I had a gig to sing the national anthem at a Sparks game. Like I thought that I had to go through a process like making the band, like artist development. I'm like, whoa, like I had no idea what it was really like. And so, anyways, we were recording songs and putting in a lot of work. And my dad found out that I had a boyfriend. This
Hmm.
was the beginning of the beginning. This is I just planted in the dirt, you know? He found out that I had a boyfriend, and that was the end of me and my dad's working relationship. He said, I'm trying to build a career, and you're focused on smiling in some nigga's face. I'm cool. I'm not
Mm.
going to allow this to interfere with my relationship with my daughter. So I'm going to let you, I don't want to be upset with you because you're being a normal girl and going through, what girls go through in life. And so instead of us trying to do business together and work together, I'm going to let you live your life and figure it out. You're on your own. So from
Mm.
that moment, I always had this perception that men were like a distraction or relate, not men, but just relationships were like I couldn't be in a relationship because it's going to stop what I got going on the way that it did then. And I've had that perspective my entire life. And it's funny because I talked to my dad about it still, and he's like, well, you grown now, He's like, that
Hmm.
was then, but I'm like, I know. And it's something I have to work through. And that was something that I had to heal from. And that I realized that I carried in my relationships, I carried a certain, not resentment, but I had a certain energy when it came to dating because I always was focused on the goals. Like, I'm not where I want to be in my career yet. So this is only going to get so much of my attention.
Mm. Interesting. So, I mean, since hanging out at the country club, I'm gonna just mess with you a little bit with that, right? So, since hanging out at the country club, has someone ever attempted to shoot their shot?
Um, I mean, guys are always trying to have something to say,
Guys always trying to holler whatever,
but I
whatever.
don't think that it's been like serious. Like I haven't had anybody like really, but I don't give that energy. I'm literally not giving that energy. Like for me, it's about just being around something different.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's just about being in a different environment around different types of people, learning how to have different kind of conversations.
hmm
And it's about my self-growth.
hmm
So if somebody does come or peer approach or whatever, I just engage normally and we have a conversation like how me and you are having right
Yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah,
Or,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like it's I never move with the energy of like I'm trying to like catch because I'm not. That's not
Right,
that's not what I'm on.
right, right. Would you consider doing dating apps, or are you on dating apps?
I'm not on dating apps, but when I moved to Houston, one of my friends was like so trying to get me to sign up for a dating app. And I got on this app and they were like, well, at least you could meet friends, it doesn't have to be like,
I
and I was on
guarantee
that
you,
app.
no man is on a dating app to meet friends.
Listen, I was on that app for 2 minutes and I was just like, yeah, no, mm-mm, I can't
Yeah.
do it. I don't even like talking to people to slide in my DMs. Like I'm like a real person. Like I like
But
connection.
wait a
I
minute.
want
Well, so wait a minute. So are you trying to say that the only way a guy, if he wants to actually get your attention in this technologically driven world, the only way that you will entertain any kind of inquiry to you will be if it happens in person? I
no,
just want to be clear that.
I'm not saying that that's the only way. I'm just saying what I'm into. So if it happens again, mind you, I'm open. I am not blocking nothing. I am completely open to whatever is God ordained. However, I am a connection energy person. So I feel like if you slide into my DMs, you done slid in 10 other DMs before you slid in mine. So there's just a mentality of just like, I just have to connect with you. Like I'd rather meet somebody at the grocery store than on Instagram.
So, okay, so we're gonna stay here for a quick second if you don't mind, right? Okay, so let me just help you out here a little bit. Just a little
I'm
bit. Okay.
I'm different.
Okay. So, um this will be seen all
Hmm.
over the world, accessible.
Okay.
Okay? That means that the likelihood of someone just walking into the country club could happen, but it's probably less likely than more likely, right? We would both agree with that, right?
Yeah, I'm not expecting that.
So someone could be listening to this. Wow, this is pretty impressive. I mean, this is on your Facebook page, whatever else is going to be on YouTube, whatever else.
Mhm.
Who knows what's going to get forwarded to, whatever else. Man, she sounds like she's been through hell and back. She's, her dad's influence, or she lost her mom. She's learned a lot from that. She's really evolved as a person. I want to meet her,
Mhm.
but they don't know your phone number.
Mhm.
or in the only way to get a hold of you would be, and it's
Mhm.
interesting, we call it sliding DM, which is that's almost like a bad term now. Well, the reality is it's a mode of communication.
For sure. Absolutely.
So how do you, and again, and I'm not trying to say that none of the F boys don't slide the
Mhm.
DMs, right? So I'm not trying to say it's, all or none. So what is your process of making a distinction between those who may have ill intentions versus those who could? Are you just
I'm just all energy. So it's just like the way you approach me, it's got to be
well, hold
something
on?
in the,
Do you ignore all DM inquiries?
no,
Okay, so you do. Okay,
no.
so okay, just want to play this out because you never know who's watching this, right? So let me help the sister out. I'm just saying, right? So so give me an example of a DM that you go, oh, okay, and you kind of feel a positive vibe there, right? Versus one that said, look, I'm good.
So you have to remember my focus is on the foundation before just a relationship, like an intimate type of relationship. So Um, the guys that
Hold on,
usually
I'm not sure what that means. Could you unpack that, please?
so it's like how I mentioned earlier about just really getting to know somebody instead of it just being based off of just the attraction. It's like, I like you, I want to be with you. Because what I've found is you just want to lay up under me. That's all guys want to do. It's like
No,
there's
no,
no
that no,
intention.
no, that's all the guys that you've dealt with want to do. A lot of guys
Well,
really
not even
do
just
want
that
to.
I've dealt with, but the DMs like or just like people that I've encountered or that I see, not even just me. I got a
Right.
lot of women around me and a lot older, younger men. Everything is about, and just from what I've noticed, right? And then this is not everybody, but a high percentage is just everything is based off of just attraction and wanting to experience. Like I deal with a lot of people that want to experience me because of my energy, and
So
it's no real
what do you mean by
intention.
experience? What do you mean by experience you?
Like people just will see my energy and it can be like, they just, how can I explain? They just want to experience me. Like I want to be close to her. I want to know what it's like to to be around and to see just what she's like. And so because of that, I do have to be more guarded, right? But as far as like the DMs, like the guys that have gotten responses usually have been persistent. They've probably reached out to me quite a few times or more than a few times. But if it's just like, hey, like, hi, beautiful. If I feel like the energy is just like not serious, then you're not getting a response. But if it's just like something, I can't explain it.
So wait a minute. I
I feel
look.
like it has to be like I need a certain energy when you approach me, and that is felt whether I'm in person or not.
Okay,
And whether that's you supporting my music, like I've had guys do that. Like I've had guys like just start reposting me, posting my songs, sending me DMs like, yo, like I love this record right here. Da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much, and then that might start a conversation. So it's different ways. I'm not just completely like shut
I'm
off,
just
but
I'm just trying to clarify so folks listening can understand. What how you filter men out, and which could be a part of, could be, I'm not saying it is, but could be a
Mhm,
part of maybe some of the frustration that maybe you eliminate, because there's this
for
this
sure.
this one guy was talking about, and a matter of fact, this other relationship expert, she kind of vouched for it as well, that 90% of women want 10% of men. And whatever that
Mhm,
10% of men represent, all 9% want. So you got the other 9% men that literally gets ignored, or, that's not my type, or I'm not feeling it, or whatever it may be, right? And it could be legitimate too, right?
mhm.
So, but those 10% of men, just for instance, if they are being inundated with the 90% of women all the time, what is the likelihood that that 10% of men are going to commit? They got beautiful women after beautiful women after beautiful women that's always approaching them. So who is he going to say, I'm going to select you over anybody else, right? So I'm just saying the math ain't
Well,
mathing.
but that's why I think connectivity is so important and why I don't like the online thing. I think when you connect with somebody and you come across somebody, energy is real. That is a real
No doubt.
thing. You know what
No
I
doubt.
mean? Like you can't deny that. When you have a
Hmm.
connect and you don't have connections with everybody. At least I don't.
Hmm.
I do not have connections with every they're very, very I can count on one hand how many guys I've actually had like real connection with and been like, dang, like I actually feel like I've known him
Hmm.
for 20 years. And we just met and we've been talking for 3 hours. How?
And a
That
relationship with
doesn't
God is
happen
pretty
all the
important too,
time.
right?
You said what?
Relationship with God's pretty important as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
That's
so
key.
do you go to church out there in Atlanta?
I don't. I have been. I've been to 2819, I
Oh,
think.
you went to 2019?
That I always
Oh,
said if I was gonna go to a church that I would go to that church. And I love it. When I feel like going to church, I'll go there, but I'm very spiritual. But
I
I
love
let go
2019.
of the,
Philip Michael,
yeah,
was it
he's
Philip
amazing.
Anthony Mitchell? Yeah, yeah,
He's amazing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Is there a reason why
I
you don't go to church regularly?
I don't go to church regularly. I have my own church at
Yeah,
home with myself. Like I have a I went through this journey. I grew up Christian, so I don't really like talking about religion that much just because it can, or politics as an
yeah,
artist
yeah.
because
Sure,
it
sure.
gets
Yeah.
tricky. But I
So
feel like a lot of,
we're just talking about who you are. So
yeah,
let,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people use religion as like to draw people in or to I don't like to use religion as a pawn in anything. It's just a relationship. It's something that's very sacred in between, me and God. And I think that it shows based off of how I live my life. And I look for that in the men that I am involved with. And then I don't mind if he does go to church every day. I love that I'll be there. I'll be dressed every Sunday ready to go with you. But I just went through a process just on my healing journey of needing
Mm-hmm.
to take a step back from just going to church, just from things that I learned and discovered, and was just like, oh my gosh, everything that I thought I knew was this, and
Mm-hmm.
so I had to take some time away from the actual church, but I love the concept of community and the communion and everything. But yeah, I think it's about the way God shows up in the person that's in front of me.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about I mean, you're a super duper rising star, right? Um, you about to crush it in
Thank you.
just real soon. Um, but you're kind of at that age where I assume you would like to have children as well, right?
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
can't
what,
wait.
you want, 2, 3, 5, 10? How
I
many kids
want
you
a
want?
whole little tribe.
Whole little tribe. Okay, cool. So we talking about at least 3 or 4, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Four
So
for sure.
4 for
But I'll
sure.
be
Okay.
happy with one.
Okay, okay, but we just aim high, right? So aim high. So how do you see that working out in terms of, I mean, not that you have a crystal ball or anything like that, but how does
Yeah.
that work out in terms of finding the right guy, having a very ambitious career, and then having the children in the family? How do you see that working out in your life? I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Again, everything is about alignment for me and just divine order. I am not foreseeing anything. I know that it's meant to happen or will happen whenever it's meant to happen. Like I'm not like, okay, because I did that. I remember being 16 and being like, yeah, by 25, I'm gonna be married, I'm gonna be touring the world, I'm gonna be like
Yeah,
Beyonce,
but you can have a vision. You can have a vision, though.
no, the
You can have a
vision is
vision.
necessary. The
Yeah,
vision is putting out what I want and representing that and letting it come whenever it comes. But
right.
as far as like having a timeline or anything like that, like I'm not actively looking. I am actively working on Sia
Hmm.
so that the energy that I exude draws that to me because everybody that shows up is nothing but a mirror. Everything that we experience is us pushed out. Everything, the ups, the downs, the negative, the good, everything is us pushed out, just reflecting back to us so that we can learn something from these experiences and these encounters.
Hmm.
And so my entire focus, no, I'm not just saying this because it sounds good, but my entire focus is being the best representation of God that I can be so that it's reflected back to me.
No, I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I like that a whole lot. Uh,
And I do trust that it's gonna come. Like I'm not the type of woman that had bad experiences. It's like there are no good guys. Every guy is dead. Like, no, I don't think that. I know that I deserve a certain type of love and that it's gonna come. But if I don't know how to love myself, then where is it gonna come from? I'm gonna keep manifesting guys that don't know how to love me because I haven't figured it out yet. So
no.
until that process, until then, and of course, I don't feel like I don't love myself anymore. I'm way past that. But just as an example, it's like we say we want things and
Hmm.
we pray for things. And then when we're put in situations to see if we can handle the things or if we're ready for the things, we fall apart.
Hmm.
And then we keep making decisions and we find ourselves in these positions over and over and over and over. And I don't want to go through that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to go through that anymore. And the last guy that I talked to was was a reflection and it showed me like, oh, I thought that I was healed and just ready to go.
Hmm.
But there were things that came up that was just like, oh, I still have work to do. I
Hmm.
didn't know that. I thought that, once I was over, not bothered by certain things or responding to a certain part a certain way, that I was cool. But then this brought this back up or that triggered that. And it's like, oh, okay. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you for showing me that I still have work to do.
Mm, mm. I like
So yeah.
so what are your non-negotiables?
Children,
Like if this it shows up or whatever this is, game over. So children, so guy that doesn't want children?
no, a guy that has children already.
Got it. Got
And I know that
it.
I'm getting older, so that does narrow. Everybody got kids, but I have been able to manifest guys that don't have kids. And I've dated a guy that had a child, and it just wasn't something that I felt was for me. I want to be the first.
Was it just simply you just want to be the first, or was that kind of a bad situation? Say, no, I don't want to deal with that.
I didn't really deal with too much baby mama drama. It wasn't like that, but it was just like when a guy has a child with someone, they are a part of each other's lives forever. And I didn't enjoy
Well,
seeing her
at least to
every
the 18.
time. Well, yeah, for sure. But depending on the relationship that she has with the family and everybody else she's around. And I'm mature, so I can handle it. And I'm very confident. I'm not insecure in the least bit, but I don't want to see her every time I go visit your mom or gotta go to a family gathering. I just didn't want that for me.
So
And
so so
in the
so
back of my mind too, to say, I feel like men who have baby mamas always dip off and go back and deal with the baby mama. Like I feel like if we get in an argument, you're gonna dip off and go be sleeping and spend the night over there. And
yeah,
I don't have time for that.
you got a little trauma going on. Okay, so let me
I just from my experience and what I've seen, that's what happens.
yeah.
That's just what happens.
So I'm just want to throw this out here, right? So,
Mhm.
and we're gonna be conscious of our time too. I know it's kind of late out there as well. So
Yeah.
you mean to tell me a guy who's evolved, everything else and so forth, loves the ground you walk on, loves God, hard worker, appreciates
Yeah.
your artistry, all this other stuff, add value, but he's divorced and he got married early on and they had a kid and the kid is a good kid and so forth, because that kid exists, game over.
Before I would have said no. I would have been like, you know what? If everything else checks off, like, but I'm learning to honor myself and I'm learning that I have the power to manifest exactly what I want. And I think that
Is what
that
you want or what God wants? Because you say you want to be able to reflect
well,
God, right?
no, absolutely.
I'm
And
just asking a question. I'm not trying to insist anything. I'm just asking a question.
but God knows the desires of my heart, so he's going to give me what? what I want. God is the ultimate creator, but we are the creators. He gave us free will. So we're the creators of our experiences and what I think, what I speak,
So,
and
regardless of the situation, if he has one kid, no matter what the situation is, no. I just want to be clear on that because, and other people will hear this and they say, okay, well, let me
yeah.
just keep it moving. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand on that and honor myself because I I d- I don't see anything wrong with it, but for me and the person that I feel like is my person who
Yeah, we're
I
only talking about you, not talking about the
yeah,
world. We're talking about for
for
you.
sure.
Right,
For
right, right, right.
me, that's not an experience that I want
Okay, got it.
anymore.
Are there any other deal breakers you have besides from the kid? Because you're quick to say the
Um,
kid. I'm like, whoa,
because
man.
that's like one that I've experienced that I was just like, you know what? I don't want a ready-made family. I want my own.
Okay.
Um,
So that means if he doesn't want kids, then that's a deal breaker as well. Has a kid or doesn't want a kid. That's a deal
Yeah,
breaker,
because
I
I
would
want to
assume.
be, I definitely look forward to being a mom. So for sure, that's a deal breaker as well. And just like having a goal, having goals and purpose and being God-fearing. Like if you have nothing going on in your life, there's no way. I've been the girl that's been encouraging and investing everything and pulling you up and we can do it, babe. I'm not doing that anymore either.
Yeah.
So, I am big on being led and being submissive and um being able to look to my man and feel like if anything happens, you got it. If something happens to me and I can't show up the way that I know that I usually do, I can trust and rely and lean on you to carry us. And if I don't feel that, then it can't, there's nothing, it's just, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're getting closer to our time, but so I want to be honest because I know it was like 3 hour time difference. So you guys will know I'm in Los Angeles, she's in Atlanta or the Atlanta area.
Yeah.
And by the way, you see yourself coming back to LA or is Atlanta, this is home in perpetuity?
Honestly, I want a house in Houston. I would move and get a house in Houston. I
Really like
would
Houston.
love
Okay.
to have, I don't know if I would just live in LA anymore. It's just not the same since my mom passed and my dad
Yeah.
not there anymore neither. So it's just not the same.
Is your dad in Atlanta with you as well?
He's in Dallas.
Dallas. Okay. Gotcha.
He's in Dallas. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if my man, if I met somebody and then my man was there, I would move back.
Hmm.
But just
Would you?
me being like, I'm gonna move back to LA, I don't
Would
see
you?
that.
Would you? If that man was in St. Louis, would you move to St. Louis?
I would go wherever he was, as long
Gotcha.
as I could do what, yeah, I'm that kind of, I'm not like, I'm not uprooting. I will pack up and go wherever as long as I can do what I need to do and I can work from where we are and you're supportive and I'm not like giving up my life to go, then yeah, I would.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, we're gonna get ready to wrap up here, but let us know where they can find. Well, first of all, tell us about your latest project, particularly one with AJ McQueen
Okay.
and the hit song Garden and whatever else you have going on. Please let us know and how we can find your music and
Okay.
support what you do and feast in all your artistic brilliance.
So yes, I have a record out right now called Garden featuring AJ McQueen. Shout out to him. This is the most vulnerable that I've been in my music. Up until Love Me More, which I released in June, up until this new phase that I'm in, I've always written songs based off of what I think people would like or what I
Mm,
think people want to hear or what I want to manifest. Like I talk about love a lot and relationships, and I haven't had a whole lot of relationships and a lot of experience. So I sing about how I feel about the guy or what I want to manifest that, to manifest that. But this is the most vulnerable that I've been in my music, the most raw. and
Mhm.
authentic. I am talking about literally, they're like all pages out of my diary. Like, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going through. The self-love journey is a real journey. So all of the music right now is just kind of taking us on a ride through that process of learning that I need to love myself. And then we have Garden that's talking about tend to your own garden if you want your flowers to grow. I feel like we get so caught up, especially with social media, and just like
Mhm.
so focused on other people, even in
Right.
relationships,
Yeah.
we're so focused on the other person and what they're not doing.
Mhm.
And it's like we make them responsible for our happiness and for just making us feel a certain way. And it's like, that's not what this is about. I want to show up whole so that you can show up whole and we complete whatever the mission is. You know what I mean? Whatever we're
Mhm.
coming together for, that's what it's about for me. So, garden came from that place of just like, tend to your own garden. You got to water your soul. I think that there's a transition happening in the world, and the message is just so necessary.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's Garden. Love, love, love. That's one of my favorite songs. And then I
Yeah,
have
the word that we're just listening to, it makes so much sense. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's brilliant piece of work there for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. And even like I'm focused on my inner peace. It's so relative to what's going on and not just my life, but so many other people. So I'm just very proud of myself for sticking to it, keeping my word to myself and releasing these songs, because all of these songs that I've been releasing, just to point out really fast and then I'll move on, people told me they didn't like. Like there were so many
Mm,
people like, it's
interesting.
just okay. I don't really like that song. It's just cool. You need to be doing music like this. You need to be doing music like that. And I moved to Atlanta. I know we don't have a lot of time. I wish I
No.
talked about
we
this a
did-
little when we first got on, but I came to Atlanta because there was a whole nother plan involved with a team of people, and it was just a whole thing that was in place that made me be like, okay, it's going to be different this time. I'm not going to just be by
Mhm.
myself. Let me just go and trust that this is going to work out. And then I got here and it kind of just like trickled. It just fell apart and it just didn't happen the way that I thought. And a lot of the people involved just wanted me to kind of just be something I'm not. And I just was like, you know what? I'm going to trust myself. I'm gonna
Mhm.
release these songs. I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna just let God work and
I
trust
love it.
my gift. And I believe that my gift will make way, will make room for me. So
Sure.
I start putting the songs out, and here we are. I have a song coming out on October 7th called Things Change, um,
Mm.
which is right on topic. It is about a situationship, and just, being involved with somebody, and things change, and accepting it, and being like, like conversations are not the same. They're getting shorter and shorter. Your touch don't feel the same. You want me to stay the same, but things change, and you know, it can't continue like this. So I'm really, 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 really excited. It's such a vulnerable song.
Mm.
Um, I can't wait for people to hear that. But you guys can find me and my music on every single streaming platform under Sia Amun, Siaamun. Same thing with like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Everything is at Sia Amun.
And if a guy wanted to DM you as well, that's where he can go as well.
Yes,
But he got to
you
come
can
with the right
find me.
energy. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Got to come with the right energy.
Intention first. That's all I care about is what's the intention.
Ah,
Period.
well, a clear the intention is to get to you.
Yeah, but there's an underlining. People have ulterior motives,
Oh, yeah.
what
Okay.
you trying to do? You trying to get, I only want to date to marry and to
Yeah.
really lock in. And if you come in with games and you can't post this because you don't want nobody to know
No,
this
right.
going on, or you don't like, I don't have time for none of that. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
grown.
yeah. I argue that every woman who says they want to get married should not entertain temporary relationships A lot do, but they know they really want to get married. So that's a
Yeah.
really good word.
Yeah.
There you have it, Sia Moon. Give her a
Mm.
big round of applause. Woo! Well, thank you for breaking ground on our celebrity and single series here with Urban Birds and Bees. I want to thank Sia Moon for again gracing us. Again, you can find all her music on any streaming platform, as she said, and she got the hit song out with AJ McQueen, a garden and song that's is also coming out in the latter part of October. So, which is actually next month, like next
Yeah, it's
week.
literally coming out in a week in a couple of days on the 7th.
Oh wow, yeah. So I will make sure I grab it because I am a new fan and I'm
Yeah.
all about that, right? So beautiful thing. Well, thank everyone for joining us on here on Urban Birds and Bees again, the celebrity and single edition. Join us next week. We'll be talking to Kanika. You know Kanika, right?
Hmm.
Kanika, yeah, Kanika. She'll be talking about menopause and relationships. And then we're
Hmm.
also going to be talking to an organization called the African American Male Wellness Agenda, and they'll be talking about the work that they're doing and some great things that are taking place there. Until then, this is Carrie Neal, Dr. Carrie Neal here with Urban Birds and Bees. Until next time, thanks a lot. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Stop recording.